Hello, Max here. This video was actually requested to me by Callum Reed, and he said this. He asked the question, is university worth it? And having been to university myself, I thought that I would answer it for you today. Before we start today's video, I just want to thank you very much for the recent support on the videos. And if you are enjoying, then please feel free to give it a like rating and consider subscribing and sharing it with anyone that you think might benefit from the videos. Anyways, shameless plug over. Let's get into the video. So, before you go to university, you have to ask yourself why you want to go to university. What is your end goal? For example, this could be getting a specific job. If you don't know what job you want to do, I've done a video on that already, which I will leave an annotation up there so you can click on that and find out what that was about. Once you know what job that you're looking for, look at the requirements of that job. Is it essential to get a degree, or is it just preferred? For some jobs, such as becoming a doctor or a lawyer or anything like that that needs a significant amount of study and experience, going to university is an absolute necessity. You have to have a degree to get into those jobs. But if you're just going for a generic job, or you want to do a general degree, it might be worth looking at other options. If you haven't thought about your next steps, make sure that you do it as soon as you can, because that will help you to find a path to get to that end goal. And a lot of schools, colleges, sixth forms, etc. tend to pressure and tend to guide students towards going to university like that's the best option. But of course there are other options out there. There's apprenticeships, there's traineeships, there is the option of going straight into work. You can start your own business. You can use the contacts that you've got to find the right route for you. Don't feel pressured into going down a certain route because that's what people tell you. Find the route that's right for you, that will get you to your end goal. To help you guys a bit more, if you're on the edge and trying to decide whether you should go to university or whether you shouldn't, I've compiled a table which will show very briefly and concisely the advantages of going to university and also the disadvantages. The first advantage is that it was a great experience. It was really fun. You get a sense of freedom living by yourself. You get a bit of independence moving out of your house if that's what you do, or whether you choose to stay home. You still get that time away and you get your own freedom. You meet loads of new people. You get some more friends for life, which is obviously absolutely great. So that's one of the major benefits of university. One of the big disadvantages, potentially, is the cost. And I'm sure everyone knows about the kind of financials, and there's plenty of information out there if you want it. So I'm not going to go too much into the specifics. However, yes, it is very expensive, but I wouldn't necessarily say let that put you off if you absolutely need that degree to get to your goal. So another advantage is that it gives you really, really good contacts for the future. I was able to get the job that I'm in now purely on the back of my placement year, which I undertook while I was at university, because I got employed by the same people pretty much. So obviously utilise that. The lecturers are most likely top of their field in research, so if you have a specific area of interest, then that could be a really, really good way of harnessing that and finding like-minded people by going to university. Another potential disadvantage is that it takes up 3+ years, depending on the course that you do, of valuable time. And in that time you could be doing various other things. You could be earning money on an apprenticeship or in a job, or you could be further training or upskilling yourself in other ways. So that's another big consideration. Is it worthwhile your time? Are you getting enough benefit out of it for the time committed? Another advantage, there are so many opportunities out there, so you need to make sure that you make the most of them. So whether that is volunteering, whether that is work experience, whether that is being some sort of important member somewhere, you need to make sure that you're getting that extra experience, and university is a great way to do that and get opportunities that you wouldn't necessarily get outside of that. I've just looked up some statistics, and according to UK universities, there are 1.8 million UK university students last year. If you're going to be part of that number, then you need to make yourself stand out. You need to do things alongside your degree that are going to help you to be distinguished from everyone else. Because if 1.8 million people all go to university, they're all going to get a degree, they're all going to get an outcome of some description. But regardless of the grade, but you need to do something which you can then say to an employer in the future, this is what I've done at university and what made my time worthwhile. For an employer, it's especially difficult to distinguish between 20 people who have all got the same grade at university. Just because you've got a degree doesn't mean that you'll be exceptional at a job, because at the end of the day, a degree is a qualification. While this displays that you have persistence and organisation and everything like that to actually get that degree in the first place, it doesn't show you how good you would be at a job. So another disadvantage is you are committed to doing a course that you may not necessarily like. Obviously there's always the option to change course during, but if you can avoid it, then make sure that you get onto a course that you're going to be interested in and that you want to pursue. So how can you prevent that from happening, getting onto a course that you're not interested in? Well, the easy answer to that is to get work experience. And again, that all stems from having that end goal, from having that job or having that eventual thing that you're aiming for. If you know what that is, look to get some work experience. And again, that goes for any job. So whether you're looking to go to university or whether you're not, make sure that you're upskilling yourself by getting work experience as soon as you possibly can, because that will help you to also, not only will that help you to build up your relevant skills and experience, but it will also help you to establish whether that's the right career for you. And especially if you're going to university, if you're planning to do an accounting degree, for example, and then you do some work experience in an accountancy office, you may then realise that that's not right for you. The final advantage is that you can shape your university experience to be however you want. So you can basically do whatever things that you feel is appropriate to make your experience right for you. And then the final disadvantage, and this was one of the things for me, my course was fairly generic, and I feel like I could have learnt quite a lot of things at home online without going to university. A lot of the lectures and stuff tended to be kind of death by PowerPoint, but if you are going into that specific field, then obviously it's going to be really, really valuable for you and really useful for you, because it's a lot more difficult to get that sort of experience at home. But overall, on reflection, I really enjoyed my experience at university. Would I do it again? Definitely. I really enjoyed it. I think I learned a lot in terms of the additional opportunities that I was able to get, and also it's given me some contacts which I've been able to utilise to get a job. Do I think it was worth the money? Probably not. However, I will leave that up to you. So those are kind of my overall thoughts on university, but I'm intrigued to hear from you, and I want to hear some comments from you on whether you think university is worthwhile, if you've had any thoughts and experiences. That's all from me. Subscribe for more content, give the video a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.